Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your September 2021 love reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is we'll look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as the energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so we'll pull it out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have Five of Staves, which is Leo energy, and King of Staves in reverse, also Leo energy. So I can see this playing out a couple different ways. The first one that comes to mind, honestly, is I feel like this could be saying that maybe there was, you might have seen this person getting a lot of attention, and for whatever reason you didn't really feel confident enough to approach them. Doesn't normally sound like your style, right? But that's how I'm seeing those two cards anyway. For others of you, it could just be saying, because Leo energy for you guys is your career and social status house, it could just be saying that you guys might have had a lot going on with your career and you weren't even really able to give any energy toward the connection. But either way, that's what I'm seeing there. Hopefully that resonated. Past energy on their side, we have the Four of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, and Knave of Chalices. This is the equivalent of the Page of Cups. So the Four of Pentacles, especially since Capricorn energy is your third house communication, I feel like this is saying that they might have actually felt intimidated when it came towards approaching you. So funny enough, on one end it looks like you guys were feeling that way toward them. Looks like that feeling might have been mutual, because if we just look at his body language there, it looks like he's, it just looks like he's nervously reaching toward her. And then with the Knave of Chalices energy, we see a couple of crumpled up balls of paper on the floor, another one in sand. It looks like he's getting frustrated trying to write to you, right? And given that it's cup energy, could be expressing emotions. So yeah, looks like in the past, for whatever reason, neither of you really feeling confident toward the connection. Present energy on your side, we have the Princess of Arrows. So this is the equivalent of the Page of Swords. And usually this represents communication. Now if you think about in traditional tarot in the Rider deck, for example, we see a guy standing holding the sword, doesn't look too confident. Their stance looks like it's a little shaky, right? And that's because they haven't reached the level of the Knight, Queen, King. So it could just be saying that there's some nervousness around the communication. And if we think about that term about getting butterflies, right? We see butterflies in artwork there too. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is saying that you're actually going to be reaching out to communicate with this person, but there could still be some nervousness there. All right. Present energy on their side, we have the High Priestess. So to me, this is saying that they're kind of still in their own world. Like I said, it looks like they were having that frustration trying to think of the right words to say to you. And I feel like this is them still trying to study up a little bit, trying to tap into their intuition and figure out what the right words are to say. So for a lot of you, this is probably going to be the energy they're in before you reach out. I don't necessarily see this as you reach out to them and then they're going to retreat to figure out how to respond, although I suppose it is possible, right, given that they were struggling communicating in the past. But yeah, it definitely looks like they're just trying to figure you out a little bit. All right. And the future energy on your side, we have the Ten of Cups. So Pisces energy here. Definitely a pretty positive, supportive energy. So it looks like whatever the case, whoever approaches who definitely looks more likely to be you, but you never know. Looks like there's definitely going to be some forward progress within the connection, positive movement at that. And given that this is fifth house energy, it just represents, for you guys anyway, represents energy of romance, creativity, even children. So yeah, definitely looks like there's going to be an improvement in the connection for sure. And then on their side in the future, we have the Four of Chalices. So this is Cancer energy here. And the way this always sticks out to me, if we just look at their body language, it just always seems a little out of place, right? Like it just gives me this vibe that they're out of place there. They're kind of looking over their shoulders, right? So when I see this card, I usually think about gossip, right? And given that we are going to have a Mercury retrograde coming up toward the end of September, it could be one of those cases where they might just have an ex coming back, trying to come back into the picture and break the situation up between the two of you. But what always stands out to me though is if we see those scissors there, and then if you think about trying to cut a cord, right? But then there's that magnet right next to it. So I feel like it's saying whatever the attempt may be, I don't necessarily think it's going to be successful. But at the very least, it does look like there is that possibility that someone might come back around during the Mercury retrograde and try to throw things off between the two of you. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have love. So this is the equivalent to the lovers, which is the major arcana card for Gemini, which is your eighth house, which is out house you guys naturally rule. But this could just represent that expression, right? The communication of emotions. There's nothing really going on astrologically speaking with Gemini. I mean, we do have the North Node there, but nothing else transit-wise really happening. So I feel like that's just pointing more to the general energy. And the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Hierophant. So this is actually Taurus energy, which is your opposite sign of relationships, partnerships. So yeah, it definitely looks like they do see that potential as well. So I feel like that for the majority of you, that incident there is probably going to be a minor blip on the radar where someone might try to come back around, but I don't really see it being successful. But we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see if we get anything for the Aqua Moonlight deck here. And I did pre-shuffle this deck. We're just looking for jumpers as far as unspoken messages from you to them and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll move on to the next Oracle deck, but occasionally we get extra messages here, so we'll see if we get anything. Oh, okay, got one there, and then we'll see if we get any from them to you. All right, and this one won't go back in, so we'll see what that says. All right, on your side, we have Karma. It says, my life is falling apart and I'm struggling. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what was going on here, because like I said, for some of you guys, maybe there was some conflict going on in your career sector, and this to me just represents a lack of confidence in general. So for the majority of you, I feel like you're already moving out of that energy, especially given that we do see that Princess of Arrows in the present position. So yeah, it's possible this could resonate with some of you, but for the majority of you, if that's the case, I would feel like that's pointing more to that King of Wands energy in reverse there. All right, and on their side, we have the letter. All right, there we go. It says, I will be writing you a message. So, all right, to be fair, maybe some of them will be the ones that reach out to you first. But this definitely makes me think of the artwork that we were talking about in the past position with the Knave of Chalices, where it certainly looked like they were making an effort to send a message to you. I don't know how successful they were with that. But yeah, so for some of you, you might actually hear from them first. I still feel like just looking at the general spread, it looks a little more likely you guys would reach out, but I suppose it's possible to reach out first. All right. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck too, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and we'll wrap up. All right, so nothing's coming up. So what I'll do is I'll put the deck down and just give me a few seconds to tune in, and we'll just pull a card. All right. Okay, I'll take this one here. All right, we have Yang. There's the artwork, and the number is 1. Now, actually, another thing that did come to mind with the letter, that I will be writing you a message. I will say, all right, if I could get these cards back up. With the Four of Pentacles and the Knave of Chalices, and then, like I said, it does seem a little more likely you guys would reach out first. So it's possible that if you do reach out from them, given what we see in the present on their side, with the High Priestess with her back turned, I feel like it's saying don't necessarily panic if you don't hear back from them right away, because could just be just general anxiety they have when it comes to communicating with you in general. So it might be one of those things where you might reach out and then they might end up writing a really long response to you, but it might take them a while to actually find the right words, you know. So that's what I'm seeing with that. Just wanted to mention that before I forgot. But all right, back to your card, Yang. All right, let me see what it says in the book. Okay, it says the masculine principle of movement and creative activity, the power to make things happen, taking action. The Oracle's message. Yang represents the power of action, the energies that propel the world forward and manifesting thought and desire into concrete form. Now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to fruition if you proceed confidently. This card signifies new life and is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There is no reason to hesitate. You are the shaper of your destiny now. So definitely a pretty positive message there, and it does support that page of swords energy we do see on your part. If you were going to be the ones to reach out first, and then with the 10 of cups in the future, it looks like it would be successful. The relationship message says circumstances are supporting action on your part. It's okay to make the first move. Trust that you will quickly know where you stand. In matters of the heart, there is movement toward your highest good, so go forth with assurance. Passion is in the air, and now is the time to dance to the tune of love. Take the lead. So yeah, again, a pretty positive message there. The only thing I would say is, as far as it said, trusted you quickly know where you stand. Like I said, given what we were talking about with these oracle cards and then what we were seeing in the artwork here, for some of you, it might take them a while to respond. But if that's the case, I feel like it's not going to be like a one word response. I feel like it's going to be a pretty well thought out long response. But you just might have to be a little bit patient, waiting for that response. But overall, it looks like a pretty positive spread. Like I said, that definitely looks like a little bit of shady energy in the future, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be successful given everything else we see in the spread. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.